Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz. It is June 15, 2017, 11:33 p.m. Birmingham. And topic, as you see, Cern. The dead center of Cern. It is a 17-mile circle. Divide that by 3 and you'll get the diameter through the middle, which is a little less than 6 miles. But the heart of that 6 miles is 3.005 miles. There sits, believe it or not, is a portal. And it is the portal of Apollo or Apollyon. And what is that? It's the name of another Satan, which is the same Satan. Now, let me try to keep in mind one thing. What are they doing there? They're trying to collide, and they're trying to create a beginning, sort of like the explosion that they think took place that created everything, or either a God particle, whichever one they can come up with. But let me tell you what, the beast will rise from the bottomless pit. In that day, the fifth angel sounded a trumpet. A star fell to the ground and had a key to the bottomless pit. They will come out and kill man. The very people who will work at Cern are considered sorcerers or scientists. And they said, we are going to open the doorway. And they repented not for their sorcery. The scientists, the very center of Cern is the pit. So while digging Cern, and you didn't hear about this, they actually uncovered parts of the old Apollo temple, his seat. And keep in mind, Mount Graham, Arizona, is also built on top of a portal. This is where the Pope's observatory, Lucifer, sits. And it's the Apaches, Mount Graham, Holy Ground. Excuse me. They believe that it's their holy mountain, but somehow, some way, the Pope took it. And what government wants, government gets. One day, the government will regret what they have done. Only a few people who run Cern will one day open a portal that will affect billions of people on earth. We, the people, should have an input, but we don't. By that, scientists will open up something they cannot close. As Christians, we fully understand what's going to happen already at Cern. Open a portal. We have Bible that tells us exactly what's going to happen. Multiverse. Some people think the multiverse is you in several dimensions. In other words, you make a decision here and it goes bad. In another place, maybe you decided not to make that decision. Or maybe you're here and you want to make a decision, but you didn't. But in another place, you did. So if that's the case, you'll never know anyway, but that's not the case. What it is you're on this dimension. What you see, what you are here and now is a two-dimensional. That's where we are. We're on a two-dimensional plane. And there's another dimension. It's the realm where the angels, where the holies, where everything else is, except heaven. That's on a third level. But these two are each a two-dimensional. And when you put the two, the heavenly realm, not God's quarters, but below, and ours together, the good angels and us, then you have a three-dimensional area. This is, forget being other dimensions where there's other yous out there. That's not the case. And so each having two, and the two together in being three. But people... and here we're going something else. People see things every day. UFOs may appear and disappear. Well, it's just like the two-dimensional or behind the veil. They will come in and they will go out. So this is why a lot of people see lights appear and disappear. They just slip right back behind that veil that they came out from. And this type of sightings are on the increase, and they will become greater as time passes. And this is slowly to come, and that is called the disclosure. Most are on a global scale. The flood, global. The giants, global. And there are those who lie and tell you we are they, so that you can worship them. So don't think that when these things come that they're to be worshiped. They are not. This is how Satan works. All the kings, pharaohs, demanded their people, you worship me, I made you, I'm your God, I own you. But God alone sits on the throne. In the Old Testament, Jacob's ladder. And this is kind of a recap. Jesus at Mount Hermon said the gates of hell will not prevail. Same as Mount Graham, Arizona, Cern, Switzerland and France, and many more of these places. Then Jesus at his death walks through hell and says, guess what, boys? I'm here. I prevailed against you. I am he that made you. Jesus preached to them, and some came out, most stayed. I guess Jesus knew their hearts before they went there, and it's what's in your heart, guys. Isaiah 13 has not been fulfilled because it causes utter destruction of Babylon, which is in part Iraq. At this destruction, it cannot be inhabited afterwards. God said through Isaiah, open the gates, the giants will come, and they will fulfill my wrath. And God told those gatekeepers, open up, and they will open up. This is part of God's judgment upon the earth in the 7-year tribulation. This is very overlooked about end times prophecy again in Isaiah chapter 13. Could Cern, Mount Graham, Mount Hermon be just a few of these gates that God told to open up to allow these terrible things to come out of and destroy unrepenting men? Yes, it is. To be blunt, yes, it is. Cern logo, look at it closely. Just imagine what CNN will do on that day after CNN polled, is there a Jesus? How will they feel at that time? As the portals open, a mighty angel will appear and preach the gospel through the whole world at the time these evil things are coming up out of the pits. There's going to be a moment in time when these things will occur. No man knows the very time, but today with Cern, we see the beginnings of these things taking place. We see CRISPR-Cas9 being made available to people. We see the gene splicing that's talked about around science. We see gene editing, and we see DNA enhancement. These days are here today, guys. These things are happening now. We just wait the removal of the church, then all these things will come into full-blown, well, what can I say there? Are you prepared? Really, are you prepared to enter into that day? John 3:16 will prepare you to not enter that day. Jody Wolf Expoz.